to tell us about the Wounded Soldiers Fundraiser, the plans he has to help these two young individuals this year, is Ed Huss, former veteran, 1st Cavalry, Vietnam.
Good morning. I have two things that I'd like to say before I start talking. Over here in the white shirts is one fella that says chaplain. I want to thank you, sir, for your service. It was a chaplain in Vietnam that led me to Christ, which ultimately led me to a tender heart, a passionate heart, and made me a man of integrity. And so I thank God for all our chaplains. The other thing I want to say, I have to make a confession. I've never marched in a Memorial Day parade before. When we came home, there were signs in the yard, no dogs or soldiers. I had friends of mine that arrived in San Francisco, met by protesters who were spit in their face, called baby killers. I marched down the street this morning. I was deeply touched. By all of your hand clapping, smiles, and support. Thank you. We got started in this by accident. 7 years ago, a buddy of mine from Vietnam called me up. I hadn't talked to him in 35 years. Hadn't talked to one of the guys I served with in 35 years. I didn't even know who he was. Couldn't remember his name. I had watched Vietnam completely out of my mind. And he shared a story with me, and I said, oh, now I remember you. And we started having reunions. My wife and I hosted the first 3 reunions we had. We paid for that by passing the hat, and the guys were so generous we always wound up with $200 or $300 extra. I tried to give it back and they wouldn't take it. So my wife decided that we ought to find somebody in need to give it to. And since we were 1st Cav, I called Fort Hood in Texas, asked if they had anybody down there who could use a helping hand. And I was introduced to Kyle Burleson. Kyle was shot through the neck with a high-powered rifle. He's left totally paralyzed. The only thing he can do is move his head about this far. What a remarkable soldier. You would not believe this guy's heart. If that'd be me, I'd be on the biggest pity trip you could ever find. And this guy is up, goes, has his wife drive him around. He buys old cars, takes them to a body shop, and they are reconditioned. He has to pay for it. Then he resells them, and the money he makes, he gives to an outfit called Homes for Wounded Soldiers. We partnered up with them, 2 other fundraisers. We were able to build him a brand new house. Our part was very small. I had never done a fundraiser in my life until that time. I was just going to give him that extra money, but when I found out how severe he was hurt and how great his needs were, I decided to have a fundraiser, and boy, did I learn something. Well, then we got Lacine Benson. Lacine was hit with a roadside bomb, lost both his legs before he even had his prosthetics, his artificial legs, because I can't speak that well. But he done a 400-mile bike ride, pedaling with his hands to raise money for wounded soldiers. These are America's best. I've never got people like them. he came to the golf outing, which we have every year for the wounded. He golfed 18 holes. He never held a golf club in his hand until that day. When he swung, he missed the ball, fell down, got right, and kept right on trucking. He played 18 holes and got us a birdie on the 18th hole. Last year, we had a local boy from Aurora, Victor Rojas. Victor's injury was to his right leg, another bomb, and he's left him crippled in the right leg, and he's going to be that way the rest of his life. But he also left him with brain damage. And we're so proud of him. He's come on and he volunteers for us. Everybody that has anything to do with the wounded soldiers is 100% volunteer. And Victor comes out, and we're concerned about him because his brain damage seems to be getting worse. The part that's damaged is his memory. He come home, he started going to Rye University, and it's just slowly but surely getting a little worse, and he finally had to drop out of school. But he's come on with us, and we're proud to have him. He's out of town, or he'd be here today. Our soldiers for this year are DT Israel Del Toro. He likes to go by DT. This man is highly decorated. He's 11 and a half years in the Air Force. He was hit by a bomb. Evidently it threw the gas tank of the vehicle he was in right in his lap, because he caught on fire, burned 80% of his body. In order to put him out, they had to throw him in a creek. He has no ears. His ears are burned off. His eyelashes are burned off. His hands, all the fingers on one hand, the whole hand on the other hand. He just can't stand the thought of not being in the Air Force. But he got the word about 2 months ago that when his term's up, he's going to be discharged. And so we're trying to really muster up for him. Our other fellow we're doing this year is Terry Peterson. He's a graduate of Marmion Academy. He lives in Warrenville, Illinois. DT is from Naperville originally, graduated from Providence Catholic in New Lenox. He moved down there for high school. Terry had a very severe wound to his foot. The doctor, when he looked at it, said he opened it up, it looked like a bowl of Wheaties. His bones were crushed so bad. He had about 4 inches taken out of his bones in his arm here. They put pins in there, and then in order to get the meat and the skin and everything to grow, they had to sew his arm to his hip, and he stayed that way for like 3.5 weeks. So these guys are got some needs, and we're trying to help them out. So our mission, the mission of the Wounded Soldier Fundraiser, is to help make a difference in the lives of our wounded American heroes by providing funds and positive support during the servicemen's transition back into the civilian community following a life-changing injury. We will do this by working with the community to contribute dollars, to promote awareness, and provide for special needs of the wounded men and women of the armed services to enrich all. The way we do it, I come to these things, I come to Swedish Days, I come to all the fairs, and we sell raffle tickets. And take any kind of donation that anybody would like to give, and then we have the golf outing. And we're looking for golfers, we're looking for donators, we're looking for people to buy our raffles. And I just can't thank the people of Geneva enough for my memorial walk down the street today. I'll never forget it.